This is the Mobster Ledger, where empires are recorded and legends are balanced against the truth.
But I advise any young people today not to get in any trouble because it will only bring them a life of misery.
Tonight's entry opens in London's East End, with two names written in ink, so dark they still stain history. Ronald and Reginald Kray. Identical twins, mobsters, that became architects of fear. Born in 1933, they grew up where survival came before morality. They had a doting mother named Violet, an absentee father named Charles David Kray Sr., and an older brother, Charlie. By their teens, they were already assets in the street economy, running protection rackets and illegal betting. Boxing trained their bodies. The streets trained their minds. Ronnie and Reggie were called up to do national service in 1952, only to be given a dishonorable discharge from the army after assaulting a corporal and going absent without leave. They were subsequently arrested and imprisoned, where their behavior became only worse, with the pair dumping a latrine bucket over a sergeant and handcuffing a prison guard to the bars of their cell. After a stint in prison, they founded the firm. Despite the illegal ties, they craved legitimacy. The Krays bought nightclubs, rubbing shoulders with celebrities like Frank Sinatra and Judy Garland. To the public, they were charismatic businessmen. To their rivals, they were executioners. Ronnie, a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, was wildly violent. Reggie was the cold, calculating strategist. Their reign of terror climaxed with public murders, like the shooting in 1966 by Ronnie Kray of George Cornell in the Blind Beggar pub. Cornell belonged to a rival gang, the Richardsons, who ran a scrap metal business in public, but were also a secret criminal organization behind closed doors. Nobody was convicted for Cornell's murder at that time. A year later, Reggie stabbed a subordinate to death, Jack the Hat McVitie, in October 1967, after McVitie failed to follow through on a contract to kill their financial advisor.
Worked for them. He took the money and drank it all and bought pills with it or whatever he did with it, but he never did what he was supposed to do.
The pair lured him to a flat in Stoke Newington, where Reggie stabbed him to death. The Krays were arrested in 1968 after an investigation by Detective Leonard Nipper Reed, who had slowly built up enough evidence against them after two previous investigations in 1964 and 1967.
If the police launched an operation against the Krays and their empire, it had to be successful.
But empires built on blood always collapse.
Both were jailed for life in 1969 after being convicted of murder.
Ronnie was committed to Broadmoor Hospital in 1979. Their mother remained by their side until her death on August 4, 1982. The courts granted the twins compassionate release to attend the funeral.
Were allowed to hug their relatives and close friends for a matter of seconds. Then they filed out of the church, leaving the twins under tight security.
Ronnie remained at Broadmoor until his death from a heart attack in 1995 at the age of 61.
This from his twin, Reggie, who'd been given permission to leave prison for the day to attend the funeral.
5 years later, Reggie was eventually released from Wayland Prison on compassionate grounds. He had been diagnosed with terminal cancer and died just weeks later.
Thousands turned out to see the final chapter in the history of one of London's most notorious families.
Free at last was the message spelt out in flowers, reflecting 31 years served for the murder of a fellow gangster.
The ledger is clear. Their power was a myth, their fame a disguise. This case file is closed. This has been the Mobster Ledger. Follow for more.